Okay, students, good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning. So, before we start the lecture again, I will repeat my words as I've already told you that in my last lecture. What I'm seeing, what I'm observing, the situation of pandemic is somehow still, at a peak. So, my words are again same to you. Please take care of yourself and follow all the guidelines which are given to us by the government, especially a mask and washing your hands or using sanitizers, using breathing exercise and good diet. That's very important for you guys. And probably we are at the edge of where the third wave will, sooner come in India. But we need to be strong and we need to be cautious first of all. So that's very important for you guys. Please take care of yourself. Please follow all those guidelines. That's very important for you. Okay. Let's begin a lecture. So, as per your lecture plan, today we are going to discuss about email writing. So the practical set has started. As we have started our subject, I told you that first of all we're supposed to work upon different aspects like grammar, how we're supposed to write it. Then we have come up to uh, the field where we discussed like what are the mechanics of writing. We learn how we're supposed to write our introduction, how we're supposed to write our body, or the conclusion of it, we can say, because introduction and conclusion are quite comparative. Whatever you write in your introduction, we're supposed to follow in our conclusions. And body is the part where you actually detail your, you know, problem, I can say this thing, or the thought process, where you would like to, transfer your thought process to the reader. So in the last lecture, we read about Pressy writing, where we talked about what do you mean by Pressy, how we're supposed to write down Pressy. And what today we are going to do, today we'll discuss about email writing. That's a very short form of writing, but it's a very effective tool. It's a very effective tool. It is somehow replacing few of the things. If you write like a letter today, even we do not post those letters. What we try to do, we attach those letters through our emails. So we can understand that how effective, how important this tool is today. Because being engineers tomorrow, you also will have to write down a lot of emails. As I've told you that being professionals, you have to do a lot of communication. And when you do your communication, uh, email is one tool through which you would communicate not only inside of your organization, even you communicate outside of your organization as well. For example, if you're working for a organization and you require something and you need to write down to the B, so that will be called as inter communication, inter organization communication, or intra is somehow where you communicate within your organization. So I'm starting my lecture and help me on
Excuse
that
me, sir.
because yes, beta.
So sorry for the interruption. Actually, I
No,
have
no,
a
beta.
question.
Yes, yes, sure.
So in pressy writing, do we need to remember are the limit of the words we are using?
Um, Look, it's all about practice because if you will start concentrating on words limit, sometime we will not be able to concentrate on our idea, like what we're supposed to write it. So I gave you the small trick that how can you count your words because everybody has got a different style of writing. So you might write 5 to 6 words in one line. I might write 7 to 8 or a 4 to 4, 4 to 5. It depends upon. So just see that how what kind of a style is of yours. So what it happens. So for example, if you're writing 6 or 5 words, I take example of. So once you'll write down 5 lines, it will be easy for you to count it. Okay, 5 into 5 is 25. So you have already covered 25 words. So it's a trick, just you need to remember your words in a one line, then you can just need to count your lines. So it'll be easy for you to know that okay, if I supposed to stop it at 120 words and I wrote 10 lines, it means I have come up to 60 words or 70 words or 50 words. So how many more lines I require over here to make my Pressy perfect? So it's a tool, I can say this thing. It's a trick, because with that you can focus that I need to increase the length of my writing, or I should sum up. I should be more precise. So that will help you. I hope I have answered your question, Aditi. Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Okay. So let's. Do you have any other question? Anyone else? I mean to say that. Any other student have any question, or should we start with the email writing? All right. So let's start with email writing. Look, the points, it will remain the same. Try to keep that thing into your mind. We discussed that how we're supposed to write the introduction, how we're supposed to write on the body, how we're supposed to write on the conclusion. So things, it will remain same. But here the problem is the writing is very small. Email would not be very longer. We could write on email in one paragraph or maximum to two paragraphs. Okay? But this can come to you for 10 marks. So we're supposed to see that at least write down two paragraphs for email writing. So the first, you introduce what is the topic or why you're writing the email. That would be an introduction. In the second part, you could explain that why you're writing it. I know, there are two aspects. Try to understand that. When you write professionally, of course, length should be shorter because the message, excuse me, the message should be clear. The reader should get the exact idea what exactly you are conveying. But when you write your paper, so that is subject, so we need to be more elaborative. So because this is a question of marks, so that's right. So try writing two paragraphs for email, so not bigger ones. Okay, so that first I introduce the e-message. Let me see, someone has posted a message over here. Gulshan, first I introduce the e-messages should be, I'm not getting, what did you write? Wrong type, yes, something is missing. First I introduce, I'll tell you, when we'll discuss, I'll tell you the sample of it as well, so you could see which one, like what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's begin with our lecture. I'm just going to share my screen with you so you could see. Just hold on for a second. Email writing. Okay, so I'll present my screen to you so you could see that what I'm talking about. It is somehow a short form of a letter, we can also say this thing, but we cannot replace letter with email, so that should be kept in our mind. We can attach bigger letter with it, but it doesn't mean that we are replacing it. But at some points we are skipping letters and we are using emails. So let's read the what do you call definition of it. Emails are among the most commonly used means of communication in the world. Okay, let me also help. If you see somebody, because once I start, sharing my screens, I would not be able to see this over here. So if on your screen, if you see that someone is asking for a permission to join, so please let me know such someone is wanting the permission to join, so I could give him entry over here. Basically, it is for like those who are joining from other than the GGI ID. So might inspection team will join it. Okay. All right. Emails are among the most commonly used means of communication in the world. They are fast, immediate, and allow you to interact with all kinds of business within and beyond the national boundaries. At work, above all, writing form in emails in English is the right way, requires certain skills, and being a professional situation, It's essential not to commit mistakes in order to make a good impression of yourself and your company. So I think I cleared those things to you, that why we are writing it. Very importantly, that it's very fast and it's immediate. You write something, and once it'll be floated to someone within seconds. I can say that the person receiver would get it. So that's why it is getting somehow the importance. Then, very importantly, what they are saying, it requires certain skills. Being a professional, okay, what are you supposed to do? You should try it, that you would not commit mistakes in order to make a good impression of yourself and your company. Because once you're writing it, once you would add your name, tag on your name, like ER, engineer, okay, Gulshan Kumar, engineer Aditi, engineer, anyone. So the onus responsibility, it will be on your shoulder that you would behave professionally. Okay, we cannot be. There is a difference between the communication. One is formal, one is informal. So you need to be formal. You need to be professional during your communications. So let's see what they're trying to tell over here. Write an email in English the right way. Don't improvise. Read the following advice to avoid making serious mistakes that could compromise the success of the email from the moment it is received. To write an email in English in the right way, don't improvise. Read the following advice to avoid making serious mistakes. So they're saying you need to be very much cautious when you write down the email. Email is 99%, it will be business email. Okay, business email, it means that we'll have what do you call the effect of writing that on someone else's. Because if it's informal, like you're chatting to your friend, it doesn't matter. But when you're talking to someone who is communicating from the business point of view, then we're supposed to pay attention to us, that we need to be very much focused on it. So the very first thing, which is very important, have you seen your layout of your email? Yes,
Yes, sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
So what it includes?
Sender's address, sir. First of all,
Sender's address. What
sender's
else?
address.
Okay, I could make it over here from, because my email is also open over here. So I would.
शीश यार बंद करी माइक
Okay, someone is, I think, making a noise. So, all right. If I go on to compose,
शीश
आशीष जी प्लीज आवाज आ रही है, बाकियों को डिस्टर्बेंस हो रही है. Okay, so see, this is email writing, and there are 2-3 things. One is to whom we are sending, then we have a CC, then we have a BCC, then we have a subject. Then here you write it, and along with we have a tools through which we can use it, and after that we will send it, and that email will go. Okay, so that is the small layout of how we're supposed to write an email. So the question they ask over here, or not a question, means they're providing information. That important one is here, that is subject. The subject is the first place of information that the recipient of an email sees, because to means to whom we are sending. Subject means that is the first communication. All right. If it's written incorrectly or unclearly, it could push the reader to delete it without even opening it. So you can see that if your subject is not somehow appealing, so the reader could delete it, right? Because without even reading it, because he could think that it's a spam, it's a trash mail. So it's important to give a clear and precise message right from the start, indicating the content or reason for writing in 2 or 3 words that grabs the attention of the recipient. So they're trying to tell you that when you write down your subject, write in such a way that it will grab their attention. So I think the same point we discussed when you write our introductions, right? Right, we just have learned that how we're supposed to write an introduction, right? So similarly, what they're trying to tell over here, that subject, it's kind of starting of yours. So whatever you would write in your subject line, it will somehow take the attention of the reader. And if reader would be somehow curious to know that what it has in that email, so definitely that reader would open it. Even You must have heard of, a lot of time when phishing emails, the hacking emails it comes. So what they try to do, they try to tempt you with their subjects. They try to write down something on the subjects which you feel like that, okay, I should open up. But professionally, they also tell that introduction means subject line is very important in the email writing. Then style. Unlike many other languages which requires long complex sentences, the formal written context, English is very concise, favors short sentences and a simple structure. Make sure you break up the text into 2 or 3 paragraphs. This enables the reader to quickly see the key points. So what they try to tell, they are trying to tell you that how we're supposed to write it. They are saying in English, we need to be concise and we should focus on the short sentences and a simple structure. As I've told you that we should not move towards, higher vocabulary or the complex sentences, so people would not understand what exactly you are trying to say over here. Make sure you break up the text into 2 or 3 paragraphs. As I told you that it's short form, but being formal, you can break up into 3 paragraphs. Shorter ones, not the bigger ones. Courtesy formula. When you write an email in English, you are not only using another language, but you are also entering another culture with different habits. The Anglo-Saxon in journal pay a lot of attention to form of courtesy and gratitude. Therefore, never forget to add them. Would you please, thank you. These are somehow words, magical words. We can say this thing. It shows somehow courtesy to you, that you are courteous. Okay. Check the email. Never send an email in English without having reread what you wrote. Grammatically or typing mistakes are very common even in our language. So in English, you can mistake errors. You can make errors much more easily. Double checking what you have written is a simple step to take that can prevent you from appearing unprofessional and above all careless. So now that is, they are suggesting you to draft kind of a thing. So you should just write down once, then you have to check it. What have you written over there? Check through the grammatical point of view. Check through that if there are some points which you have missed, and if you feel like, you can add it over there. Be sure to have set your email strand with the important information about you, including name and surname, job title, relevant details about your company, link to the company website. I think, yes, you can see over here, it's quite, easy to find out. This is with warm regards, Dr. Rakesh Kumar, Associate Professor in HOD, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Gulzar Group Institute. So whatever it has been written over here, I already have set it. Name and surname, job title, relevant relative detail about your company, link to the company website. So that's what a signature is. Format of formal email in English: introduction, body, conclusion. So introduction would definitely be there. Depending on the type of relationship you have with the person you are writing to, there are different ways of starting an email. But an email should always start with a greeting. In our specific case, being formal, the most appropriate options are now greetings. Somehow, sometimes we feel like greetings means when you call namaste or good morning to somebody. But here, greeting means that is salutation. We call it a salutation. That these are the parts of it. When we'll discuss our letter writing, so I'll tell you in detail about the parts of letter writing. So in email writing, we just try to focus on few of its parts. First is greeting, which is also called as salutation. So there are words like dear Mr., Mrs., Ms., surname of the recipient, example Mr. Black. So it depends upon how are you writing it. So they have given choices to you. If someone is formal, you can write down his or her first name or last name. It depends upon, like Mr. Black or Mr. Robert. It depends upon. Then we have a Mrs. Mrs. means if you feel like, if you know that someone to whom you're writing is married, so you can use Mrs. But most newly, we do not use Mrs. We use Ms. for all the females. Why do we use Ms.? Ms. means it's for both married and unmarried, because if you write on Miss, it will be for a lady, who is unmarried. Then you write down Mrs., it will be for a female who is married. But when you write down Mr., we do not differentiate like who is married and who is unmarried. So the modern world, it says that we should avoid these kind of salutations or the titles which actually makes other person to to feel like that we are curious to know, because we are here talking about professional business relationship. So when you are in business relationship, when you are in professional relationship, we don't need to ask someone's personal title, that are you married or are you not married. So Ms. is somehow, it's for all of them. We should just use it because it does not require that the person's marital status. So recently we use these terms more, I could say instantly, because rather than putting up Miss or Ms, Mrs. or Ms, so we just write down MS, then the situation appears. Now there is a situation, the next salutation, that would be dear sir or madam. Okay, so now pay attention towards it. They have not written down respected sir or madam. What Indians, we are committing mistake when you write down to somebody who is senior to you or to whom you want to give respect. We always write down respected sir or madam, which is wrong. They are trying to tell you that salutation or the greetings is dear. When you say someone a dear, it is basically the salutation. But sir and madam, it already has the respect in it. So we should not include respected with it, because to whom we are calling sir or to whom we are calling madam, it means we are already showing the respect to that person. So we should not include respected with it. If you don't know the name of the recipient, or more generally to whom it may concern, so that's why. Because if you do not know the name of a person and it's professional, and if it's professional, of course we need to give respect to the other person, so they are saying, then even you can write down. Means if you know somebody to whom you're writing, he is or she is senior to you, or you want to give them the respect, so definitely you should use dear sir or madam. But if you're writing professionally to somebody and you do not have the name of that person, so instead of writing or assuming something, you can also write them dear sir or madam. So it works, it serves the purpose. After the initial greetings, you need an introductory sentence that indicates clearly the reason for writing and is consistent with the subject of the email. Introduce yourself briefly. Long text often discourage people from reading them, then follow on with. So this is what they're trying to tell. Of course, we need to introduce ourselves to the other person, that who I am and why I'm writing to you. So in emails, they're trying to say this thing, that we should avoid long text. They are suggesting the lines like, I'm writing with regard to, means we are trying to connect it, that why am I writing it? I'm writing in connection with, I'm writing in reference to. So there are different references sometimes it has made. Reference number, I think you are aware of. In business communication, reference number is very important. Even in your college, when you get any of the letter from the college, from your main office, when you go over there and when you ask them, so please issue me the bona fide certificate, or any of the letter you would look from the college, they will issue that letter with the tagging on the reference number. So reference number is very important, because it tells that why and how we are connected. I tell here example. For example, you are applying to the Indian embassy, oh sorry, for the foreign, any of the foreign embassy for higher education, okay, and you have written down that you have completed your engineering from Gujarat Institute, okay. So what happened? And they'll ask you in recent time, embassies are asking for, like, have you got any of the backlog, any of the supplementaries that you got? So you would submit the backlog certificate from the college, okay, and the college will mention down the reference number, and in that letter the college will mention, okay, this student named this and this, so like the information whatever it is required. So they'll write down that this person has one backlog, two backlog, or no backlog at all, so that you would submit over there. So now when the embassy would write us to back, us mean to college, they'll not ask that, or they'll not send a scan copy of that letter and they'll ask that, okay, this is a letter we have received from you, is it the same one? What they would write down, they would just simply write the what do you call, the reference number over there. So because it could be false, it could be fraud, because sometime if somebody would try to cheat, So that person would caught over here. Where? Because the embassy is not writing what was the matter in that letter. Embassy is only writing the part. This is the in reference to this number. Would you please tell us that what is the status of this reference number? So when we receive it, we will see that, okay, this is the reference number, and we'll try to check our record. Okay, this reference number, on this reference number, we have written a backlog certificate to this college, this student. So we'll reply back to the embassy with this thing. Okay, this is the reference in regard to the backlog certificate of Mr. So and so, and we gave him the backlog certificate, and he has one backlog or he has no backlog. So when we'll send that email back to the embassy, they would be satisfied, and it will be, kind enough proof for them to check it. Okay, the certificate which is submitted by a student, it is okay. So similarly, when you do communication with the business to business, it happens because we tag the references. Because I am into one manufacturing industry, every day a lot of people are asking me for the quotations. Lot of people I am replying. So if someone has written me down 15 days back and now he would write me back, so it will be very hard for me to connect it. So how do we connect it? We connect it through the reference number. So the person would say there in reference number GCI slash this and this. So I would say, okay, this is the reference number. So I would copy it and try to check it on my record, and I will find out, okay, this is in continuation of this email. So person was wanting to know, or my last talk was on basis on this. So this is how we use references, okay, to connect something which we have about the communication which we have done in the past. All right. If you are writing an email to send information, you can start with following that sentence itself. There are two ways. So now they are saying if you are sending information to somebody, then I'm writing to let you know about that. I'm delighted to tell you. I regret to inform you because if it's a bad news. So they're saying this is courteous. You cannot just directly jump onto the statement. You need to write down in a such a way that a person should feel like, what exactly is the tone of it. So I'm delighted to tell you that you were selected, or whatever there will be the information you'd like to pass through. So if it's a regret, it means you are trying to tell someone a bad news. So that's how it comes on. Right? If instead you are replying to an email received, you can say, I am writing in response to, I am writing in reply to, I am writing to thank you for. So there are multiple ways you can write. You can start your introduction. Okay. Now it comes to the body part. There are no conventional formula of writing the body of the text because this varies according to the functions of what you need to communicate. See, I told you all the time, body, I cannot tell you that this is a formula and in every kind of a writing you would just follow that formula and copy it. Body means to say that it could be different as according to the style of it. If you are writing report writing, it could be different. If you are writing essay, it could be different. If you are writing a letter or the email, it probably be different. So same, they have said that there is no convention formula to write. It varies according to the functions what you need to communicate. If you're writing the letter to somebody to inform somebody to regret, means you feel like it's a bad news, so your situation would be different. But if you feel like you're writing it because it is a good news or it is the information, so please then you can use those what do you call the startings or the introductions, right, where you would just simply please them, or with the happiness, tone of a happiness, you try to write it down. Okay, so that is what exactly is the tone of it, or what do you call the body of the text is. So you want to talk yes, that's fine. All right, so based on the type of message you're sending, there are various ways to write a final invitation before ending the email, such as I look forward to hearing from you soon. That is conclusion. That is the third part. They're trying to say that, when you're ending somebody, so I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you in advance. For further information, please do not hesitate to contact me. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for your attention. So these are the lines which makes your communication not a dead end, right? If you will just end up by providing the information, that is different. But if you write down these lines, it somehow arouse, somehow, you know, it gives the spark to the person that he or she has to write it back. I look forward to hearing from you soon. For further information, please do not hesitate to contact me. So you are leaving open, you're leaving what, open end for them, that okay, they should write back. This is business. Try to understand what we are doing. Whether we are becoming engineers, but whatever we do, it is related to business, right? If tomorrow you'll join the company and they do not have a good business and you are a very good engineer, you will not get good salary over there, or the job will not be for the longer period of time. Why? Because ultimately we need to look upon what the business of it. That's why they have said that the writing business email means whatever we write, it has business in it. And once you try to do a business, we need to be in such a way that it should grow. You should get more orders. There should be more of communication on the basis of it. Okay? So conclusion means the ending part, like how would you end it? That's very important. Whatever you have written down in your salutation, like dear Mr., Mrs., Ms., and dear Sir and Madam, that is somehow related to your last line. Whatever we are writing at the end, that is matching up with your salutation. So they have said that if you end up by writing yours faithfully, it means your salutation was Sir or Madam. So if you're writing to somebody who was senior to you, to whom you feel like was, it could be your boss, it could be senior to you, it could be your principal. So when you try to write to them, what happens? We're supposed to end up by writing yours faithfully rather than your sincerely. Because sincerely they are saying you when you begin an email with dear Mr., Mr. and Mrs. Hussain, means it is for the professional relationship at the same level. You are in one company, or you are writing to somebody who is in the same company or same level, or you are writing it to someone who is in the another company at the same level. So you should use here sincerely, that I'm sincere towards this business. That's why I'm writing it. Okay. So salutation, it would be dear Mr., Mrs., Ms., as if it has written. Or once you write dear Sir or Madam, your ending, your closing, it should be with yours faithfully. All right. Am I clear to everybody by now? Have you understand? There's one important thing I think which is missing over here. I'll tell you this thing also. Can you please help me on what does it mean when okay, let me open up. Okay, compose. Right. So can you tell me if it is the layout of an email? Two is to whom we are writing it, right? So what do you mean by CC and BCC over here? Would you please tell me? Yes, students, please come up with the answers.
Sir, CC means carbon copy and BCC means blind carbon copy.
Very good. Blind carbon copy or black carbon copy, or the CC is the carbon copy. That's fine. What is the meaning of it? That's the full form of CC and BCC. Where do we use it? Hello?
Sir, CC is used when we used to copy.
Okay. Copy what? Copy the information?
So, no, sir, something when we used to copy others' information.
Okay. Yes. What about others? And what do you mean by BCC then?
Now, so BCC, when we just send email to more than one people at a time.
But CC, you can also do the same. You can write down multiple names in CC as well. I'm just trying to ask you what is the meaning of it. ये मैं यहाँ समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ आप लोगों को. It's a very important thing. कोई शायद ही इसको बताए. that why or how we use it. Being computer science engineers, you should know this thing. That's very important. Okay, I'll tell you over here. CC carbon copy means if I would write down here, for example, it's Manudeep Kaushal sir, okay? So that is to whom I'm writing this email, okay? And I also want the same information, which I'm going to write over here, the body part, okay? I could write on CC here and I can make it director, okay? So means to say that information is for Mr. Manudeep Kaushal, but I am making it CC to director, so that director would also get the information that I am communicating. So it is for the information of your senior. Okay, if you're working in one project, for example, tomorrow you get a job as an engineer, and you're working on one project and you're communicating with somebody, and you would like to, you wish to know, or it is important that you should definitely inform your senior that you are communicating that. You should put that in CC mode. So this information is not for director, but director would get to know that, okay, this is what is happening. Now it comes to BCC. So when you write down BCC, BCC means blind. Blind means if I will type over here the name of somebody, for example, I have typed the name over here, Mr. Mandeep Prabhakar, okay? So I have communicated two people, to Manudeep sir and director sir, okay? But when Mr. Mandeep Prabhakar would get that information, he would not know that I have communicated that same information to these two people also. So that is what you call a BCC. When you write, when you put the the address in the BCC, it means you do not wish to know that person that you are sending that email to someone else's. For example, you're working for a company, and as I've said that, and your company has one offer, okay? And there are 50 clients to whom you want to give this offer. But if you put them in CC to everybody, that everybody would know about, okay, the other 49 people are also, got this information from you, okay? So might you lose the interest, spice of that. But if you would use all these, addresses in BCC, nobody would get to know about that. Who else has received that email? So you will receive it like, okay, this is the email, especially it has been sent to me. Okay, it's not for, or you will not get to know about like who else has received it. So that is the real meaning of applying these things to CC and BCC. Is that clear to everybody now? Yes,
Yes,
students,
sir.
is that right?
Yes, sir.
So that's very important because you feel like जैसे अभी आपने बोला कि अभी हम ज़्यादा लोगों को डालना है ईमेल तो हम BCC में डाल सकते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. BCC is basically for if you do not let the person know about like you have sent someone else's email. चलिए, coming up to the sample for it. It's a short, very short email writing. We can see over here. Delay with the delivery of an order. That is what the topic which is given. Subject, delivery delay. So once you would write down on subject delivery delay, so person who would read it and is into the business would definitely 101% would get it. Okay, I've got a message from this person, so he would know that, oh, I have got this message from this and this company. It means my delivery is going to get delayed. So he will definitely open it. I'm not writing it, whole through message over here. So a person would say that, why is writing it? So 2 words. Then we have a salutation, dear Mr. Pascal. Okay, that's a salutation. We regret to inform you, bad news as I've said that, so it's courteous, we are starting with, that will not be able to respect the deadline previously agreed for the delivery of your order. Our supplier has warned us today that they are experiencing supply problems, which will result in a delay in our production chain. We count on your understanding and thank you for your patience. Please accept our apologies. Best regards. very short, very precise, and message is conveyed. You can see over here. Simply delivery was delayed, and this is what a message, very simply it has been passed. So purely professional, because we use subject, we used what do you call the salutation, we have used the ending of it as well. Second example is replying to a job advertisement. Subject, web content editor position, means there is a position for the web content in the newspaper, and you wrote web content editor position. So person who would receive it would get it, okay, this is from a person who is looking for a job. Okay, so he need not to be in a suspense that what it would be inside of that letter. Dear sir or madam, see, salutation has changed. Now you're writing or you're applying for a job, so we need to be more courteous and we need to show respect. So we are not writing respected sir or madam, we are writing dear sir or madam over here. With reference to a job, add in this. I would like to submit my application for the position of web content editor in a company. I would like to submit my application. So this is the cover letter. Okay, this is the cover letter the person is trying to tell. I graduated in communication sciences at the University of this and worked for 7 years in a digital agency as content specialist. I believe my skills and experience are in line with the requirement for the job position. I will glad to introduce myself if in an interview that will allow you to better evaluate my possible recruitment. Please find attached copy of my resume. I look forward to hearing from you soon. So there are parts I'll tell you, because there are parts like, attachments, CC, VCC we have just discussed. But when we'll discuss our topic of letter writing, everything that will be in it, like how do we, attachment is somehow, it is enclosures, ENCL. So what you are enclosing resume over here. So that is the perfect email when you will apply for a job. Subject, you told that why I'm writing it. Then you talked about that where you have seen your ad and the position you look for. Then in the body paragraph, you explained that this is my education and this is my experience. Just one line you can see over here, did not mention anything more. You mentioned your education, you mentioned your experience, and for the detail you wrote very nicely, please find attached copy of my resume. I am not writing everything in the email that I am this, I have done this project, this. No, this should come in your resume on or your CV, whatever. So you will enclose along with your email. So that is how it has. That sincerely, again it comes over here. Okay, because top it would be dear Mr. Tuckman. So this is how you can see the salutations are changing as per the meta. All right. So that is the topic of email and email writing. I hope I have cleared everything in today's topic. If you still have any of the question, you can ask. Yes, please. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, to everybody. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
ठीक है. और बेटा एक चीज प्लीज और जरूर किया करो, जैसे अभी मैंने आपसे बात की कि like people they come and check. So what I'm doing, I work hard to convert these videos, then I put those videos onto the YouTube channels. This is for you people, but when I see that views are very less, like 1 view, 2 view. We have a class of 116, 84 are present today. So but when I see over there the views are very less, so it shows that you have not seen your lecture. Okay, so they might check these things, because we tell them, okay, because my part is covered. I am checking my lectures, I'm recording my lecture, I'm sharing my screen, I'm putting those lectures on YouTube as well. Your duty is also at least check once, try to see that what it has mentioned in that lecture. So it will be helpful for your future. जो हम लोग ये चीज पढ़ रहे हैं, try to understand that this is very practical. ये कोई भी ऐसी चीज नहीं है कि थ्योरी है. You can see over there I made everything very practical. क्या आप लोगों को प्रैक्टिकल में किसी तरीके की कोई कल को दिक्कत ना आए. So whenever you join as an engineer, you join your duty tomorrow. So it could be helpful for you, that okay, whatever we have learned during our studies, so that is actually I'm using over here. Okay, so now please your attendance one, let me see that if your attendance it has come over here. So I would, yes, please, yes, please write down your attendance so I could note it down from here. मैं रोल नंबर बोलूंगा वो प्लीज मीटिंग लीव कर दीजिएगा, they can leave the meeting. Okay, let's start from here. 368, 771, 846, 934, 798, section A, 784, 808, 769, 364, 793, 813, 759, 774, 832, 864, 797, 766, 819, 839, 379, 818, 751, 859, 372, 854, 800, 768, 860, 863, 312. Suzanne, what's your roll number? 855, okay. 855, 815, 812, 370, 857, 377, 752, 783, 378, 772, 788, 830, 861, 781, 811, 933, 834, 840, 770, 375, 824, 778, 311, 826, 782, 369, 380, 845, 807, 363, 852, 844, 779, 315, 821, 756, 803, 788, 374, 765, 760, 830, 373, 849, 318, 9318. Okay, anyone else? Because lecture is on recording, so whatever roll number it has been written, it is also recorded. I hope everyone has written down their attendance, but I see that 30 people are still there in the meeting. Have you not written down your roll numbers? Students, 375, okay. Please
Hello,
write
sir.
your roll numbers. Yes, Sumi, please.
Sir, 852.
Beta, please write down in the chat box. It will be kind of a proof, because lecture is getting recorded. So we can see over here what roll numbers are mentioned over here. Please write down in your chat box, 852. 821 and 818, they can leave the meeting. Yes, what about others? Students, please write your roll numbers over here. Students, 772, 852, 366. Okay. Fine. You can leave the meeting. 366 and 756. अनिल वाल्मीकि जी, आपने पहले भी लिखा है, दोबारा से लिख रहे हो बेटा, मैंने आपको रोल नंबर बोला था. Make sure these things, once you write it, it will come over here. Now you can leave the meeting. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Gurpreet 780, please leave the meeting. Yes, what about other students? Ashish, Ayush, Raman, Rajneet, Shubham, Rohit, Mohammad Afzal, Gurpreet. Gurpreet, I think you have written. You can leave the meeting. Yes, students, have you written down? Should I end the meeting now? रोहित सिंह ठाकुर, आपकी अटेंडेंस हो गई है. आयुष, रजनीत, रमन, मोहम्मद अफसर, आशीष, राहुल एंड शुभम. अगर आपकी हो चुकी है अटेंडेंस तो प्लीज लीव द मीटिंग. अभिषेक, आपने दोबारा ज्वाइन क्यों किया है? राहुल शर्मा 823. ओके राहुल जी, लिख दिया करो बेटा अटेंडेंस, मेरे कहने पे क्यों लिखते हो? चैट बॉक्स में अपनी अटेंडेंस डाला करो. ओके, लीव द मीटिंग नाउ. अभिषेक 750. ओके अभिषेक जी, थैंक यू. राहुल 823 हो गया. हाँ जी, ओके, यू कैन लीव द मीटिंग. आशीष, तुम्हारी अटेंडेंस हो गई है? आशीष कुमार.